So you can imagine that the Indigo crisis has disrupted the lifeline of India's flight operations. Joining us live on the broadcast are Bimol Akoijam, Member of Parliament, who's joining us from Manipur, and Surjit Panesar, aviation expert. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us on the broadcast. Appreciate your time. Sir, Akoijam, sir, if I can come to you first, when we are talking about this entire crisis that has actually unfolded in the country, sir, this is disruption of services on a huge scale. We are seeing a lot of passengers being affected, and now the government has stepped in. They have introduced a slew of measures. Do you think that this will help solve some of the problems?
Yeah, I think there's the government of India and Civil Aviation Ministry has taken up the right steps, especially the compliance with the airline is not able to follow. This instruction was already been given in 2024. If you remember, in January, DGCA has issued this flight duty time limit, and the first phase was implemented from July 2025. This is the second phase since November. They have been facing this problem, and I think the Indigo probably have underestimated their capacity to follow this new flight duty time schedule that the government has instructed. I think this is very unfortunate. The trouble has been faced by the commuters. These passengers are suffering, but the government has responded by imposing a cap so that people don't exploit this crisis, and passengers who are already been disrupted should not be subjected to high prices in the name of increase in demand. Here, I would like to remind you something which is very important, which is revealing time and again. Whatever has happened to Manipur in the last 2.5 years, many people don't take it that seriously as a part of a national problem. If the crisis in Manipur that has been going through for the last 2.5 years has been something of a national crisis, be that had it happened in Bihar or UP, people have taken serious note of it. And I'm reminding you, you might be a little surprised by me bringing this issue, but something we have been demanding for the last 2 years. The airlines have been exploiting and looting the suffering people because the highways are not accessible to the people because of this crisis, and people are forced to travel out of Manipur by flights. And for a half an hour, 50 minutes flight from Imphal to Guwahati or 1 hour flight to Kolkata is like a flight fare to London or Malaysia. It's been like this, 38,000. And we have been saying this. I have put it on the floor of the House, and the ministry didn't respond. And look at that. They are now responding by imposing a cap on the prices, not to increase. This, we have been shouting from rooftops. On the floor of the House, I have complained that the ministry should impose a cap so that suffering people of Manipur don't suffer. We have been suffering for 2 years. And they said this is demand and supply and this is airline. Jab tak Manipur suffer hota to koi action nahi leta. Now that the national crisis ban gaya, to the ministry has woken up and they have imposed cap on the prices. Can you see this? We have been suffering like this. You can see on social media, I have put this up in the floor of the House. We have many people have written, people have made the civil aviation ministries, officials, they have not responded because Manipur is almost treated like an outside the country or a state motherly treatment, and suffering people have been looted for almost 2.5 years. And now the ministry has woken up this crisis by monitoring, real-time monitoring of the prices. Look at this. This is a lesson once again, how the Manipur has been treated. And I'm not going to leave these officials. What have they done to Manipur for the last 2 years? The airlines have been charging it, the prices from Imphal to Guwahati, Imphal to Kolkata, And the flight from, Kolkata to Delhi, if compared, they have been charging 3 times, 4 times. Can you imagine 21,000, 30,000 to fly out of Imphal? And for 2.5 years, and government has been saying that, no, this is private airline. We can't impose cap. And this must be recorded. This is the classic case how the ministries have responded. They have rightly done so by imposing a cap on the airline so that the suffering of the people don't get exploited. But the point to be noted for the rest of the country, Manipuris have been shouting for the last 2.5 years, including me, on the floor of the house. And the ministries have not responded. Why did they respond now? Because this affects the nation. And Manipur is not part of the nation. That you can loot the suffering people.
Sir, I get your point. I get your point.
This is deeply offending.
Do you believe, sir, that now we should look at, better a rehaul of the entire aviation system that is currently running, implemented for safety of the pilots? They are being exploited. Now you are also bringing up this issue of price capping that has not been, implemented earlier as well, even though you have been raising it on the floor of the House. Do you believe that now our ministry should be more passenger focused, sir?
Yeah, Shivani, let me say something.
Yes.
This price is because I've said the highways have been not accessible to general population, so people were forced to fly out of Manipur, and they have been, in the name of demand, they have been increasing the price. And because of this crisis in the Indigo, since the winter season, they have again shot up the prices. I'm saying that it charges from about 38,000. And you can have a plane fare to Delhi to London. It's cheaper than Imphal to Delhi. Can you believe that? And they have been doing this, and we have been raising. Officials have met the ministry, and they have said that no, this is private airlines. We can't do anything about it. Jab national crisis banta, to they are monitoring real time from the ministry. They are imposing cap. I'm just reminding the rest of the country as well as officials how the places like Manipur in the northeast in general, when they complain for discrimination and state motherly treatment, this is not the mythical or perception. This is a real war.
Sir, I get your point.
Please remember this.
I get your point, sir. So do you believe that we need a more passenger-focused system in place? You're talking about private airlines. Do you think the government should step in? Do you think there should be a penalty now that this has, Indigo's operations has disrupted a lot of operations?
Absolutely. That is, I think that government has responded, as you have reported. They are monitoring real time on the price, imposing cap on that, and then penalties to be given to in case they go against these rules imposed by the Civil Aviation Ministry. All that I'm reminding you is that this is a learning for me once again. For 75 years after independence, we have been saying that Manipur have been suffering because of these prices in the airline, and the ministry officials, all of the people in this country have been saying that's nothing, that's private airline, you can't regulate. Now that the government is regulating, that's the point to be noted, and they're doing the right thing right now. My only issue is that what happened to Manipur for the last 2.5 years?
All right, so
the flight fare,
before I let you go, sir,
despite our complaint. That's my point. And the rest of the country, as they grapple with this national crisis, they must know that Manipur has been suffering like this, and then you must have that conscience to say at least sorry. And then they must be able to refund those money just as they are doing it right now.
So we absolutely understand your point and understand how important it is now that the nation is facing the same problem. We are in fact seeing action being taken. Before I let you go, sir, one last question. If you raise this up in the parliament, along with now that the nation has suffered, has seen the real picture of how bad our aviation industry is suffering, if you raise it in the parliament, do you think that we will see some more action, some changes in this industry, sir?
No, I think so. And I think, when the people suffer, the citizens should not suffer because of the failure of certain organizations or failure on the part of the government machinery. People of this country should not suffer. I think in that sense, what the government has responded, Civil Aviation Ministry has responded right now. They must rethink about certain kind of regulations so that the private airlines function properly and then they don't exploit the people of this country.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the broadcast and bringing out those pertinent points on this entire issue.